Hi everybody, welcome to the review. I just finished watching Sinners, a 2025 horror film directed by Ryan Coogler, the same director who did both Black Panther films, Creed, Fruitvale Station, and now he jumps into the horror genre by bringing forth a film that is set within the 1932 spectrum of Jim Crow era Mississippi, with starring Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, Miles Canton, Delroy Lindo. And this film really presents a unique display of the vampire mythology set within the historical time period. Now, as per usual, be spoiler free, and if you like the content of my channel, hit the subscribe button below and spread your words with friends and family. And let's go ahead and talk about Sinners. Sinners, upon watching the first trailer, I knew it was going to be some type of special, mysterious film. It didn't give away too much of the plot, and it kept enough. It kept enough of the unknown to more or less entice you into going to the theater and watching this film. You have Michael B. Jordan, who is playing a double role as identical twins Smoke and Stack, who were attempted to legitimize themselves as businessmen by opening up a juke joint that is supposed to bring harmonious music and unity to those who aren't particularly obviously accepted within the 1932 spectrum of the Jim Crow era Mississippi. Gradually, as the night goes on, you have these mysterious strangers who show up and bring about carnage and chaos and blood and gruesome violence. And from then on out, it's just one of these type of films where you cannot take your eyes off the screen. Now, let me go ahead and state for the record, it is a gradual, slow burn. It's not vampire carnage from beginning to end. If you are going and expecting to see vampire action from beginning to end, you'll be disappointed. But the interesting thing about this film, the slow burn, is the fact that it's not tedious, it's not boring. You have these characters who keep you engaged to the point to where their dialogue and their chemistry is so organic and realistic that you cannot help but enjoy the banter and enjoy the acting that is going on on the screen. You have Michael B. Jordan, who is playing these identical twins, and both of them are different enough from one another. The interesting thing about it is how, even though they're different, there's one who is more unhinged than the other, and he manages to capture that essence of both characters while still not necessarily taking away from anybody else sharing the same screen with him. And that is a very rare thing when you come to this conclusion of these performances, where there's always that one actor or actress that outshines the other. No, this is the type of story where everybody puts in the work, everybody nails their specific performances. And that was the one thing I found myself completely immersed with, is the fact that the performances in Sinners was just outstanding. But aside from the slow burn, once the vampires come into the picture, it is all bets are off. It just grabs you by the jugular vein and never lets go. The execution of the vampire mythology is quite unique as well, because everybody who is essentially familiar with the vampire lore is don't invite them in, stake to the heart, garlic, holy water. There's a lot of myriad of different tactics that characters use in order to combat the creatures of the night. But the cool thing about it is that you have these characters who aren't familiar with the vampires, so they're having to come to grips and understanding exactly what is going on, except for one specific character who knows what they are, and I'm not going to spoil it because the way that they go about it with her specific revelation is quite interesting, to say the least. Another fascinating element about this film is the orchestral arrangements combined with the blues. Ludwig Göransson, who composed the Black Panther soundtracks, does an amazing job in incorporating elements of the blues and classical music and hip hop and R&B and rock. It's hard to explain, but I have to say, as someone who is fascinated with music overall, I loved how he just managed to incorporate this eclectic array of different styles of music that just would, for most people, I guess they would consider it to be just a wall of noise, but there was something harmonious and melodic and haunting and beautiful about the orchestral arrangements combined with the modern aesthetic of music, and I just loved the soundtrack. I'm going to attempt to find and purchase the soundtracks, to say the least, because that was just probably one of the greatest soundtracks associated with the film that I'd ever heard, right next to Queen of the Damned and even Tron Legacy. Overall, I have to say Sinners was probably one of the greatest vampire films that I've ever watched. And 2025 has been kind of a dry year when it comes to cinema as well. So having to watch this was just a wonderful breath of fresh air. And there's no jump scares that I could really remember. Just the overall acting performances was exciting and fun and unique and raw and powerful. The action is just spectacular too. Once the action with the vampires show up, it's all bets are off. It is very gruesome and bloody and violent and quite unexpected to say the least. And even the ending, I will say there are two post-credit scenes. The first one is by far probably one of the greatest endings that I found that I have watched as of late because it was very cathartic, and I just really always enjoyed the stories of vampires, how it managed to merge, how they just seemingly find a way to continue to uh, find themselves on the edge of history. And I don't want to go into any type of detailed spoilers, but I have to say it was just a refreshing way to end the film. It was very different, and Ryan Coogler was very much original with how he executed that particular plot point. But overall, I have to say, Sinners was, man, what a film! What an absolute great film! I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 2 thumbs up, a 10 out of 10. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about it if you have watched it, and what's your favorite vampire film? Now, if you loved Blade, Near Dark, Interview with the Vampire, 30 Days a Night, From Dusk Till Dawn, this vampire film is for you. I highly recommend it. It is not for children. There is a lot of blood, profanity, and some strong sexuality in the film. But other than that, highly recommend it if you want to watch something fantastic over the weekend. This is the film for you. That's my review of Sinners. I hope you all enjoyed it. Take care, peace out, and remain healthy.